Okay, welcome back. Um, Today we're going to look at the um, the parts of the quadrilateral on page 211. Um, so we know the names of the parts of the triangle. Um, and so now we're going to see if we can name the parts of a quadrilateral. So I have here my common quadrilateral from the previous lesson, and I'm going to start naming some of the parts. So let's see. Just like we had with the triangle, the quadrilateral has sides. And of course it has 4 sides. Okay. The quadrilateral also has a base, just like the triangle did. Okay, the base being the bottom side, or the side where the quadrilateral rests. Quadrilaterals also have angles. Angles right there. Can you see that? No, you can't. Place it over here. Okay, it has angles, and in this case it has 4 angles. We also have vertices, which are the 4 corners, or the point where 2 sides meet. We also have the perimeter. The perimeter, again, would be if you're an ant walking around the edge of the quadrilateral. The distance you travel would be the perimeter. We also have the area, and the area is, just like in the triangle, is the part inside. The plane that's limited by the 4 sides of the quadrilateral. The size of that plane is called the area. So we also now have a diagonal, which we did not have with the triangle. The triangle does not have any diagonals. The quadrilateral is really the first time that we can put in diagonals. You can imagine that if you tried to put a diagonal on a triangle, it would just be one of its sides, right? There is no other way. Okay, so I'm going to put the diagonal label right there on the diagonal. And the last thing will be the altitudes of the quadrilateral. And you notice this is a plural noun because we have more than one altitude. Just like we did in the triangle, we do have more than one altitude. The difference here is we're going to have 2 altitudes for each of the bases. Okay, so in the triangle we only had 1 altitude for each of the bases. So now we're going to have 2. So if we get our little plumb line again, I'm just going to do it this way. You can see that there is 1 altitude, and there's a 2nd altitude, all on the base that's the blue stick. And if I were to turn this around, I could get 2 more altitudes, okay, for each of the different sides. All right, so we're going to have 2 altitudes per side. So I'm just going to place this here for now and call that the altitude right there. Okay, so that is what we have. Let's put out some of our nomenclature cards. We'll try to put them in a way that you can see them. And then we will invite the children to match the labels with the cards. All right. So just lay these out in a way that you can see them. Take this away. All right, so I would invite the children to come and match. So for sides, we would have this. Those are the sides. Okay. For altitude would be this. For diagonal is this. The base is obviously that. The area is here. The perimeter is here. The angles are right here. And the vertices are right there. All right. So this would be the second period lesson, and you would continue on to the third period lesson, taking away the labels and asking, what is this, what is this, what is this? All right, so this, as a follow-up, the children can trace these, this shape, the common quadrilateral, and go ahead and trace it onto their notebooks and label everything. There's also definition cards, which I'm not going to put out. They're in your album. I would, of course, hand them out to the children, have them read them, and place them with the appropriate part. And then that would be the end of this lesson. Now, I want to make a point here. Right after this in your album is the same lesson for parts of a trapezoid. So you would use your trapezoid for that. Okay. And after parts of a trapezoid, you have parts of a parallelogram. So you would use your parallelogram for that from the previous lesson. After parts of a parallelogram, we have parts of a rectangle, parts of a rhombus, parts of a square, and those, in my mind, would be, you could do them all in one lesson, or you could break them up depending on your students and how you feel they can handle, how much material they can handle in one sitting. But those lessons would go exactly like this, so I'm not going to record them for you. But please make sure you annotate your album. Also, I want to point out that even though I use pre-written labels, I did that for sake of time. You would, in your presentation, write out your labels by hand in front of the children. Okay, that's it.